Ka-chow!
I love cars, real ones and Pixar ones, but let's be honest, as cool as these movies are, they are definitely a massive head fuck. You got questions, I've got questions, but do I got answers? Probably not, but let's try anyway, yeah? So, what is the world of cars? I'm assuming it's some alternate dimension, a parallel reality next to ours. There's just so much similarity. The world, the countries, even some celebrities. I'm definitely not going with the Pixar timeline theory. The one where AI killed us all and took over in the form of vehicles. This is not some Planet of the Apes shit. I'm not having that. And it's not a Toy Story kid's imagination, because they have that in the movie too.
You are a toy car!
So, what are cars? And planes and stuff? They're not machines. Well, not completely. Otherwise, they could live forever, and they don't.
He's a cyborg, you idiot!
They all have proper mouths with big floppy tongues and eyes. That's obvious. But this clip says they got brains, which is fucking weird.
He can't open his doors because that's where his brains are.
But is it weird? I mean, they should have brains. Not everything is modern enough to have a computer like our cars do. So, yeah, brains, yeah. So, they're kind of like the Borg, but with style.
Maybe we should work on your sense of humor, brother.
It looks like, as long as the brain is okay, they can just replace basically anything. You don't see too much of this in cars. Wheels and tyres are obviously not part of the core body. Tyres aren't shoes because the whole wheels come off, which means they don't have feet. Just weird little axle arms. And Lightning's lights are famously stickers. They can just open him up and slap some straight into his skull.
Ka-chow!
Which he can then control perfectly. Now this gets even weirder in planes.
Dottie, can you fix me?
Does a PT-6A have a multi-stage compressor?
In planes, Dusty gets practically rebuilt. New wings, new propeller, and all sorts of other internal bits. And even before that, he gets his crop duster castrated off. And in planes too, yes too, the dude literally gets his legs chopped off and replaced and can control them instantly.
Oh, that's it.
No problemo.
No problemo.
Plus, of course, the whole plot is that he needs a new gearbox, but it's out of production.
Your gearbox, it's out of production.
Production by who? Apparently, they can't just get someone to build a new one, so they need a replacement, but can't find a spare one anywhere. Why would a spare gearbox even have been made? That means somebody would have made one originally? Or is it like a transplant from a dead plane? And in the end, they do just get a new one made anyway. What the fuck?
You've got yourself a custom-made epicyclic concentric reduction gearbox.
And this just makes me remember Cars 3. If Lightning is not fast enough anymore, can he not just get a new engine bolted in? That spy car says he can get a new engine.
What do I care? I can replace an engine block.
You may be able to, but after full impact of the pulse, unfortunately, there will be nothing to replace.
And we already saw Mater get insane upgrades in Cars too. Like, a rocket's not allowed in NASCAR.
I can't believe they renamed the Piston Cup after our very own dog Hutch.
And what does Hudson die of? Just build him some new shit. Like nobody should be dying in this universe.
Ka-chow!
Do cars have sex? I know this is why you're here, you pervert, and the answer is no. I'm pretty sure it's no. I know there's that hotel porno joke, but that could be any weird thing.
Please tell the hotel. I didn't mean to order that movie. I thought it was just a preview and I didn't realize I was paying for it.
We are assuming that there's some organicness in there. And there are obviously male and female cars. They definitely fall in love. They even get married. But do they have the proper tools for sex? I don't see it.
Get a good peek, city boy.
So why is that car shocked to see the underside of Ramon? Like, what's even there? Plenty of cars are flipping over and nobody cares. Planes and helicopters aren't constantly exposing themselves, are they? It's a Me Too nightmare.
A cow!
Aye.
What we do know is that cars have parents. Look, there's Francesco's mum.
I am at home, and my mama is right here. Mama! Don't worry, Mama. McQueen is very sad. I will beat his cry-baby bottom today.
So where exactly do new cars come from?
Dusty, you're not built to race. You're built to dust crops.
Do the parents just order one to be built? Can they decide what their child will be? Maybe it's like genetic engineering, and the make and model and even job is decided at birth?
Naturally, no critical predispositions to any of the major inheritable diseases. All that remains is to select the most compatible candidate.
Perhaps there's just a big list of types you can choose from. I'm thinking that the newborn car is full size straight away, but their brain and personality is formed later.
Baby.
I'm not a baby.
It could be that lots of the vehicles we see are actually children. You just can't tell. But then, what the hell are these? These are kids. Did these parents specify they wanted a tiny child car? Will it stay little for its whole life? Is that not really cruel?
One of you did it! Which one of you made me the way I am?
Are they just going to bolt bigger bits on every so often? I don't see how that can work. It all seems really messed up. I guess a benefit of this system would be that gay cars can have offspring just as easily. If there's no real physical difference between obviously male and female cars, maybe each one just chooses its gender on its own. So progressive. You wouldn't even really need two cars, boats, planes, anything could get together. You don't even need two, do you?
I am what you call a Flugzeugauto, one of only 6 flying cars ever built.
It's a sexy interspecies utopia.
Man, your mama must have had high hopes for you.
Where does oil come from? Every single thing we see has an internal combustion engine, so they definitely need petrol, I think. Well, they get oil from the same place that we do, drilled out the ground. And we know for a fact that dinosaurs existed.
Fossil, as in dead dinosaurs, and we all know what happened to them.
Dinosaurs could complicate the origin of cars, but we'll just have to assume they went extinct like real ones, and cars evolved instead of all the other normal animals and people. But even though our cars need petrol, it seems like these cars don't.
No. Out of gas? How can I be out of gas?
You might think that running out of petrol would kill them, but it don't. So, what's the point? I think they just need it to go fast. We do know that Pixar cars have existed for a lot longer than our engines. And we know that due to a whole bunch of historical things we can see throughout the world. But I'll come back to that later. This whole oil thing, though, just brings up even more questions. Specifically, Cars 2. What the hell? Try and do a quick recap, if I understand it. Miles Axelrod tells everybody that he invented a new green fuel. And to prove how great it is, he organises a huge race series. But this fuel is secretly normal petrol with one addition that blows up if hit with a special EMP laser gun. And he uses that to sabotage his own product. That's because he wants everybody to carry on using normal fuel, which he's got lots of, and then he'll get rich. Why? Why? He's already clearly rich. He owns a massive oil field and all these offshore drilling platforms. Why would he not just make tons of cash money just being like a normal oil tycoon? The entire population of the whole planet already uses petrol. I don't really understand why anybody would care that he made some green fuel anyway. It already exists.
The oil companies got a grip on the government. They're feeding us a bunch of lies, man.
Okay.
We know from Cars 1 that Fillmore is making his own all-natural fuel. And it turns out that that's what Lightning was using this whole movie. You might think, well, Fillmore is just one weird hippie. But no! Remember Dusty Craphopper? He's spreading fertiliser on corn because that's what they make fuel out of.
Nowadays they got soybean fuel, switchgrass fuel, algae fuel. Come on.
Healthy,
Tell me about
no
it.
tank you.
What's next, pistachio propane?
What are you, nuts?
For my money, there's nothing like good old-fashioned corn fuel.
Oh, yeah.
This is America. They make everything out of corn. You didn't think they were eating it, did you? So organic fuel is already a totally normal thing. But obviously not as popular as the real thing, I guess. Also, why is Miles getting crap parts fitted onto himself? We've already ascertained you can just get some top quality stuff handmade specifically. And this twat can definitely afford it. Don't tell me it's too difficult. Everybody already accepted that he switched his engine for an electric one very easily.
Converted himself from a gas guzzler into an electric car.
Just swap in a better petrol engine, you idiot. Here, in the real world, religion is awfully important to a huge number of awful idiots. Surely cyborgs have no need for such nonsense. Well, it seems they do. There's two obvious ones on display, Roman Catholic and Buddhism. If you count that as a religion, which you probably do, even though it isn't.
Is this where I'm supposed to be?
That is one of life's great questions.
The car pope is pretty obvious.
Is the Pope Mobile Catholic?
Weird question. He probably is, but does he have to be? He's just driving the Pope around. And the fact that the Pope Mobile exists means at some point somebody tried to assassinate the Pope. Did the Pope Mobile's parents decide that's what their child was going to spend their life doing? Is he a normal car with a bulletproof back bolted on, just like the real ones? Why didn't they just make the actual Pope bulletproof anyway? This leads to the obvious question. Was there a car Jesus? I gotta assume it's the same as real life. So, no. How are you supposed to crucify a car anyway? And what kind of car is Jesus? Like, a Honda Accord? Buddhism is not really a religion. It's a philosophy. And I can't see it being particularly popular because there's a lot of cars that are just absolute psychos. What we do know is that ghosts are real. That's a fact. So there must be some kind of afterlife, but I can't say for sure if it's heaven or hell or reincarnation. What's up with animals? Are tractors cows? Yeah. Of course they are. Why are you asking me such a stupid question? Are you a moron? But why do they farm cows? They aren't being eaten, are they? I mean, is that what the McQueen barbecue's for? They definitely aren't being milked. I don't even want to think about that. Is this where the fertiliser that Dusty uses comes from?
Googly Moogly, what is that smell?
It's vitamin mulch.
Vitamin
The
what?
finest smelling compost this side of the Mississippi. Original, creamy, and chunky style.
How can that be possible? They're still just machines, right? Well, mostly. So any waste product will just kill plants, surely. Is that combine harvester supposed to be a bull? Because in Spain, a bulldozer is a bull. Am I meant to think that these are all the same species? That doesn't make sense. Where do baby tractors come from? Oh yeah, also, tractors are also mooses also. They're just the same thing with big light rack antlers. Who was it at Pixar that thought cows and mooses are the same thing? We also have beetles as flies. Yeah, that's cute, I'll allow that. And we have birds as little planes. I'm not sure about this one. If birds are little planes, are planes just big birds? What's the difference exactly? Just their brain size? Anatomically, they seem just the same. At first it seems okay, but nah, it's just too weird. And where do baby birds come from? Over in Japan, they eat sushi. So, fish are real? Even if we never see them? I mean, they're not like little submarines or something, right? Oh yeah, and crabs are real too, but we never see them either. They could be machines. Yeah.
She's a beauty. Get a load of those teeth.
And here's a dinosaur. What? No, I'm not having that. Balls to that. This ruins the whole bloody thing. No, pretend you never saw that. No. History. There's a ton of stuff we can see in the backgrounds that tell us all about the history of the Cars universe and how it's the same as ours. But the standout historical event that they don't shy away from is World War II. In Cars we have Sarge, who is obviously a veteran, and his friend Fillmore, the hippie objector. But it's in Planes where it is spelled out. Skipper was in proper missions in the Pacific. Well, one. We see it for real. Cars does seem quite a violent place, so I don't think it's surprising that they have armies and wage wars and stuff. But it makes you wonder what kind of car Hitler was. Did he really design the VW Beetle? There's a whole bunch of buildings in Europe mostly that have historical implications that are kinda nuts. In France we can see the Arc de Triomphe. That was built after Napoleon's victory at Austerlitz. So he's our second dictator. Well, that's nice. And the Eiffel Tower from the 1889 World's Fair. So it's not all doom and gloom. Italy has the Colosseum. Seeing as cars regularly try to kill each other in normal races, it should be no surprise to see that they did it in the Colosseum too. Probably a bunch of Christians. What would lions be? Peugeots? The UK has got the Houses of Parliament and Buckingham Palace and the Royal fucking Family. America has the Statue of Liberty. So we know that France played a big part in the American War of Independence. Yeah, that's what I said. They got the Chrysler Building. That makes sense. No Twin Towers, though. Should I comment on this? I mean, you don't need to hijack a plane if it's also the suicide bomber. And there's the Lincoln Airport. So I guess he also existed and was probably shot. Over in China, they got the Terracotta Army, and they are clearly proper cars, not some kind of Flintstones thing. So we can see that cars were not invented recently. They existed thousands of years ago, even before oil, which makes the whole plot of Cars 2 even more insane. They've even got the Great Wall. It's probably a road. I don't know anymore. Like any of this is supposed to make sense. Oh yeah, and there's the bloody pyramids in Egypt. Those things are ancient. And the Sphinx and everything is... There's just so much confusing stuff in this. Are they naked? Paint could be their clothes. I mean, that Ramon guy does change all the time, but most of them don't bother. So Sally's tarty tattoo isn't a tattoo then? She can just paint over it anytime.
Hey, do I spy a little pinstriping tattoo back there?
If their diet is 99% liquid, are exhaust fumes just farts? Yes, it's got to be. I mean, your farts are exhaust fumes. All these cars are literally farting constantly.
And it absolutely will not stop. Ever.
How is their world not some dystopian environmental disaster hellscape? Perhaps green fuels are a bigger thing than it seems? It looks like their cities have less traffic problems than ours. Do they have some form of population control? Is that why you hardly ever see kids? How come Dusty has all those dials and stuff on his nose? Cars don't have anything, do they? Mater is good at going backwards because he has wing mirrors. But they're behind his eyes? How can he see them? Like, are they an extra set of eyes?
How'd you do that?
Rear view mirrors.
How does that Mexican plane, El Chupacabra, know what a Jaguar is?
She's like a jaguar now.
Okay, Jaguars are cars, but they're still named after the cat, and there are no cats. And this guy is a Mustang, with a horse on the front. How do they know what a horse looks like? Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton are both famous cars, but neither of them are F1 cars.
Over here, Lewis! Hey, man. Jeff! Hey, Lightning!
But Schumacher is German, but still a Ferrari?
Hi, Lightning McQueen told me this was the best place in the world to get tires.
Which makes Luigi and Guido loving? F1 cars do exist though. That's so weird. These two teenage groupies, the MX-5s, Mia and Tia.
I'm Mia. I'm Tia. We're like your biggest fans.
So Cars the movie came out in 2006. So that means they are a maximum of 17 years old. McQueen's gonna get in serious trouble for that. How come Roger the Space Shuttle can breathe in space? Cars can't. They need oxygen for the engines. That makes sense. But their masks don't even cover their mouths. Why even bother sending cars to space anyway? Just get Roger to do whatever the hell they're doing up there.
It's beautiful.
Aliens are also real and kept at Area 51, so I think that means cars are not aliens. Although the aliens are also machines, so maybe cars are aliens?
What are you selling?
Headlights, monsieur, headlights.
What now?
What the hell is that? I mean, headlight eyes are freaky enough, but she clearly has a steering wheel and sees. Where's her brain? Is being a train hell? It's got to be horrible, right? You got zero autonomy, you can only go wherever somebody laid tracks already? Are all trains just depressed as fuck? Just trying to commit suicide all the time, derailing themselves? And look at this crane. He can't have a good life. He's stuck in one place like forever. Why are there red buses in London? They aren't big enough for other cars to get in. Same deal for that school bus lady. Maybe a tiny car could fit inside her, but we've already seen they don't really exist. But cars do travel inside other things, like planes, trains, boats. You are literally inside somebody else's living body. That's just disgusting. How come all 5 movies have exactly the same plot? Old person mentors young person. Wait, is that the plot to every movie ever? Nah. Is Cars 3 woke? No, it's not. Only arseholes use that word now. Cars 3 is totally the best one, and I'm so glad it came out before all that crap. If it was being made now, people would be losing their shit. A girl who's quicker than McQueen and better than all those other racer dudes, even though she never raced before. It's perfect. I love it. Can a car live forever? I don't know. Like, maybe? If you're rich, you can pretty much replace anything except your brain. That Model T woman must be super old. As long as you don't go rusty, you might be okay. That was my name! Is Rust the biggest killer in the Cars universe? Apart from murder? Is that why Rusty's is such a big deal? Slowly rusting away to nothing must be a horrific way to die. How come that chick Hicks doesn't get disqualified for causing a massive accident? At best, he's clearly cheating. At worst, he's a homicidal maniac. How come Ned and Zed don't get disqualified for trying to kill Dusty? Dusty is allowed back in the race because he was tampered with. They literally tried to kill him. And they're perfectly fine to just carry on. Who the hell makes these rules? And they just tried to kill him again anyway.
Looks like you've run out of airspace, crop hopper.
How many cars die in Cars 2? That EMP laser thing definitely kills the spy guy at the beginning, so presumably all these other guys die too. This guy, and this guy, and this guy. There's loads of them. And this guy definitely drowned. Isn't a metal detector at the airport the most useless thing ever? Wouldn't it be really obvious that Axelrod isn't electric? Even if his engine is insulated, he still has to fart his exhaust all day. I'm a bit confused about what they're doing in toilets. Even though we see Mater in one, I don't get it. What's the point? Is Dusty an asshole? Yes, he is. Did he learn anything from being a fireman? No. So, in conclusion, there are lots of questions and not very many answers. Sorry you wasted your time watching this.